The alien girl stood frozen at the edge of the training ground. Her silver eyes were locked on the massive cage in the center. Inside, the most dangerous creature on the planet paced back and forth. Its dark fur shimmered in the sunlight, muscles moving like coiled steel under its skin. Every step made the ground vibrate. Its golden eyes glowed with hunger and rage. This was the apex predator of her world, called the Drakkar. No alien dared go near it. Entire hunting teams had been torn apart in seconds. Even the soldiers, with all their weapons, kept their distance. The alien girl had seen what those claws could do. One swipe could split a warrior in half. But now a human was walking toward it. The alien girl's breath caught in her throat. The human was tall, wearing light armor that looked far too thin to stop the Drakkar's claws. He walked with no fear, his boots crunching against the dirt floor. The crowd of aliens murmured in shock, some even laughing, certain this human would die within seconds. The Drakkar stopped pacing. Its eyes locked on the human, and the air became heavy with silence. Every alien in the crowd tensed, ready to hear the scream when the beast struck. The human didn't slow down. Step by step, he came closer, until only the thick steel bars separated him from the predator. The alien girl wanted to shout, to warn him, but her voice wouldn't come out. The Drakkar moved forward too, muscles tight, tail swaying slowly like a whip ready to strike. Then, with a deep growl, it lowered its head, preparing to attack. The human did something unthinkable. He crouched down, slowly reaching a hand toward the bars. The alien girl's heart raced. She had seen people lose hands, arms, even their lives for less. The crowd gasped, certain the predator would tear his arm off. But it didn't. The Drakkar leaned forward and sniffed his hand. Its breath was hot, its teeth inches away. Then, to everyone's shock, the beast let out a low rumble. Not of anger, but something softer. It tilted its head slightly, almost curious. The human spoke, his voice calm, almost gentle. No one could understand his words, but the Drakkar seemed to listen. Slowly, the massive predator stepped even closer until its nose touched the human's fingers. The alien girl's eyes widened. This wasn't possible. This creature had been captured only after killing 3 hunters. It hated cages. It hated all life that came near it. And yet now it was allowing a stranger, a human, to touch it. The Drakkar closed its eyes for a moment, like it was enjoying the contact. The human smiled faintly, as if he had just made a friend. The alien girl didn't know what was more terrifying, the fact that the human was still alive or the thought that maybe, just maybe, he had tamed the untamable. The air was so still, it felt like time itself had stopped. Every alien in the crowd stared in disbelief at the sight before them. The apex predator, known for ripping apart anything that came close, was standing calmly, letting a human touch it. The alien girl's tail twitched nervously. She could hardly breathe. Her mind screamed that this could not be real. She had grown up hearing stories of the Drakkar, how it never forgave, never trusted, never spared a life once it decided to kill. And yet, here it was, leaning against the human's hand like a loyal pet. A murmur spread through the crowd. Some aliens whispered that this must be a trick. Others thought the human had some hidden weapon or drug. But the alien girl could see clearly this was no trick. The Drakkar's eyes were not glazed with chemicals. They were bright, alert, and focused only on the human. The human slowly moved his hand along the beast's jaw, then to the top of its head. The predator let out a deep, rumbling sound. Not anger, but something strange. The alien girl realized it was purring. Her skin prickled. No one had ever heard a Drakkar purr. The human spoke again, his voice calm, steady, and almost warm. The Drakkar tilted its head like it understood him. Slowly, the human reached between the bars and touched its thick neck. The alien girl's claws flexed nervously. This was the most dangerous move yet. One wrong twitch and the beast could rip his arm from his body. But nothing happened. Instead, the Drakkar took a step closer, pressing its massive body against the bars. The human laughed softly, a sound so out of place in this tense arena that it sent chills down her spine. He rubbed the beast's ear, and it lowered its head like a creature at peace. From the corner of her eye, the alien girl saw the warriors' faces twist in anger. They looked offended, almost insulted. This predator had killed many of their best fighters, yet it bowed to an outsider. She could feel their pride burning. One of the warriors muttered, "It's unnatural. It's dangerous. We should kill them both before it turns." The alien girl's ears twitched. She didn't know why, but the thought of them killing the human made her uneasy. The Drakkar's golden eyes suddenly flicked toward the warriors, as if it had heard the threat. A deep growl rolled from its throat. The warriors stepped back instinctively. It didn't attack, but it made its point clear. The human stood and looked straight at the alien crowd. There was no fear in his eyes, only something she couldn't quite name. Confidence. Determination. For the first time, the alien girl wondered if this human wasn't here to conquer the predator, but to stand beside it. And deep inside her, a dangerous thought began to grow. If he could tame the Drakkar, what else could he do? That night, the alien settlement was restless. The sun had set, but the strange event in the training ground kept everyone awake. The Drakkar, the most feared predator of their world, had not only spared a human, but had allowed him to touch it like an old friend. The alien girl sat near the fire in her family's dwelling, her mind spinning with what she had seen. Her mother and two older brothers spoke in low voices, glancing toward her as if afraid to say too much. But the girl's sharp ears caught every word. "The elders must know," her brother hissed. "The signs are too close to the old stories." Her mother gave him a sharp look. "Do not speak of that legend so freely. You know what happened to those who tried to follow it." The girl's curiosity burned. She had heard only fragments of the old tales as a child, about a stranger from beyond the stars, one who could command the loyalty of beasts and turn even the fiercest predator into an ally. It was said that when such a one came, the balance of power on the planet would change forever. She remembered one line most clearly: "The beast will bow only to the Sky Wanderer." Later that night, she slipped out of her home and wandered toward the Elder's circle. Hidden in the shadows, she saw the Old Ones speaking to the alien warriors. The firelight flickered across their faces, revealing worry and fear. "The human must be watched," one elder said, his voice deep and rough. "If he truly is the one from the prophecy, he is both a gift and a danger." Another elder nodded slowly. "And the Drakkar will protect him. That makes him untouchable. For now." The alien girl's pulse quickened. Untouchable? That word was never used lightly. It meant the warriors could not challenge or harm him without risking the wrath of the predator. In the distance, she heard a sound, a low rumble that made the hair on her neck stand. She turned her head toward the predator's cage. Even in the dim moonlight, she could see the massive shape lying close to the bars, as if waiting for something or someone. Then, to her surprise, a shadow moved beside it. The human. He crouched next to the beast, speaking softly. The Drakkar shifted, its tail sweeping the ground in slow, contented movements. For a long moment, they stayed like that, two figures from different worlds, connected by something no one could explain. The girl's heart pounded. If the legend was true, then this human wasn't just a visitor. He was here for a reason, and whatever that reason was, it was about to shake their entire world. She didn't know if that was good or very, very bad. The next morning, the alien girl woke to the sound of loud voices outside. She rushed from her small dwelling and froze. The human was standing at the edge of the forest, and beside him, free from the cage, stood the Drakkar. The alien crowd kept a wide distance. Some had weapons ready, others hid behind walls. No one could believe what they were seeing. The predator wasn't attacking. Instead, it stood calmly, its golden eyes scanning the trees as if waiting for a signal. The alien girl's tail flicked nervously. "He's letting it loose," she whispered under her breath. Her heart pounded. If the Drakkar decided to hunt them instead of animals, no one would survive. The human looked toward the predator and gave a small gesture. The Drakkar let out a low growl, not of anger, but of readiness, and stepped into the forest. The human followed without hesitation. Gasps rose from the aliens watching. No one followed them, except the girl. Keeping to the shadows, she moved quickly and quietly, her eyes locked on the strange pair. The forest was thick, the air heavy with the scent of wild plants and damp earth. Every sound was sharper here. Branches creaking, leaves rustling, distant animal calls. The drakkar moved ahead, its massive paws silent against the ground. The human stayed just a few steps behind, scanning the surroundings like he belonged there. The girl couldn't understand it. This predator was supposed to be impossible to control, yet it moved like his companion, not his enemy. Suddenly, the drakkar stopped. Its ears twitched. In the undergrowth ahead, something moved. The girl caught a glimpse. Long legs, sharp horns, a wild creature known for its speed. Normally, even the drakkar would need a fierce chase to catch one. But not today. The predator exploded into motion, a blur of black fur and muscle. The human didn't shout or chase after it. He simply moved toward where the creature had run, as if he knew exactly how the hunt would end. Moments later, the forest fell silent again. Then the drakkar returned, its jaws carrying the lifeless body of the horned animal. It dropped the kill at the human's feet and sat down, watching him expectantly. The girl's eyes widened. The predator had not kept the food for itself. It had brought it to him like a gift. The human knelt beside the beast, patting its neck with calm approval. The alien girl's chest tightened. This wasn't a master forcing obedience. This was trust. The kind of trust her people had never believed possible with a creature like this. As the human and predator walked back toward the settlement together, the girl followed silently, her thoughts racing. If they could hunt together, what else could they do? And deep inside, a dangerous question formed. What would happen if the human decided to use this predator against them? The alien warriors could not stand it any longer. Each day, they saw the human walk through the settlement with the drakkar at his side, and each day, their pride burned deeper. The predator they had feared for years now followed a stranger like a loyal companion. To them, it was an insult. That morning, the alien girl noticed the warriors gathering near the central arena. Their armor gleamed, and their weapons were sharp. At the center stood the human, calm as ever, with the drakkar resting at his feet. The girl's tail flicked uneasily. Something was wrong. The leader of the warriors stepped forward. His voice boomed across the arena. Human, if you are truly in control of this beast, prove it. Face the trial of the twin fangs. A ripple of shock went through the crowd. The twin fangs were not a game. They were two apex predators released into the arena at the same time. No one had ever survived such a fight. The alien girl's heart pounded. They're going to kill him, she whispered. The human didn't flinch. He simply looked at the leader and nodded once. The warriors smirked. Massive gates creaked open, and the ground shook under heavy footsteps. From opposite ends of the arena emerged two drakkar, larger and even more battle-scarred than the one the human had befriended. Their eyes glowed with rage. Their roars shook the air. The girl gripped the railing so hard her claws dug into the wood. She expected the human's drakkar to run or cower, but instead, it stepped in front of him, growling at the newcomers. Its tail lashed the ground like a whip. The fight began instantly. One of the twin fangs lunged, claws flashing. The human's drakkar met it head-on, the sound of their clash echoing through the arena. The second predator tried to circle around, aiming for the human. The girl gasped, this was it, but the human didn't run. He held his ground, his voice rising in sharp, commanding tones. The drakkar seemed to understand, turning with lightning speed to intercept the second attacker. The battle was brutal. Dust flew, claws tore, teeth snapped. The human moved with surprising precision, always staying just out of reach, always where his drakkar could protect him. The alien girl could hardly believe what she was seeing. Man and beast fighting as one, anticipating each other's movements as if they shared a single mind. Finally, with a thunderous roar, the human's drakkar pinned one of the attackers to the ground. The other, bleeding from a deep wound, backed away and limped toward the gates. The crowd was silent. When the human laid a hand on his predator's neck, the beast released its opponent and stood tall. Together, they had won. The alien girl's chest tightened. This was no accident, no trick. He had faced the challenge and triumphed. And now, everyone in the settlement knew. The human was far more dangerous than they had ever imagined.